one for the Sooners has come and gone, and what's week one of the college football season if we don't have some big overreactions and some big opinions? Drop yours in the comments because I know that you have some as well. I've got a handful of big reactions, overreactions on this OU football team after just one game. Let's get to it. Overreaction number one, and you may call it an overreaction. I think it's right. But this is the best defense at OU in over a decade. Top 3 defense in the SEC. Look, I actually thought before the season started that this was going to be the case. So a performance where they forced 6 turnovers and allowed less than 200 yards, I still feel very, very good about that take. And yes, I realize it was Temple. But I feel like OU's starting 11 on this defense is top 3 in the SEC. And when you factor in their depth at every single position, I also think the overall roster is a top 3 roster in the SEC as well. And we haven't even begun to scratch the surface on what we're going to see from this defense. Just wait. Wait until they start mixing up fronts. Wait until they start mixing up different coverages, disguising different blitzes, personnel groupings. That is when you're really going to see this defense at their best, because not only are they really talented, they're going to do an exceptional job of confusing opposing quarterbacks. Look, I'm not going to hold back here. Be excited, OU fans, because I really think that this defense is for real. A big test awaits against Tennessee later on this month, and that group is going to be really good. But at the same time, I've got all the confidence that this defense will keep OU in every single game this year. Every single game in the SEC. And the exciting thing from Friday is that you had great performances from some guys that we don't talk about a ton. Grayson Halton had a monster day. Dude was incredible. 1.5 sacks, a forced fumble, 4 quarterback hurries. He was awesome. Kendall Dolby had a sack. He was incredible. Marcus Strong had 2 sacks to end the game. Guys, this is a deep defense, and I am all in on the hype. Top 3 defense in the SEC. Best defense at Oklahoma in over a decade. Believe it. Overreaction number 2 is Taylor Tatum. Yeah, I don't think I'm the only one who really liked what I saw from the true freshman back on Friday night. And some of you have even texted and asked me how long it's going to take him to be the number 1 running back. I don't think I'm there just quite yet. But the overreaction is, I guess, don't be surprised if he is your number 1 back at some point this season. And with that, I really like where OU's at running back right now. I think Javonte Barnes is incredibly physical. No, Gavin Sawchuk didn't light up the stat sheet on Friday night, but we know that he is a good player and still your number 1 running back moving forward. I actually really like what OU has at running back, but I like the versatility, and Taylor Tatum out in open space is deadly. I'm all in on the Tatum hype. I think that he is incredibly talented, led the team with 69 rushing yards on just 5 carries, and I think he's about to get more than just 5 carries a game here moving forward. And if he continues to impress, he'll get more and more carries each game, and at some point, move up in the depth chart. Yes, this is an overreaction video for a reason. It was just one game for a true freshman. Absolutely. But you can tell talent at running back when you see it. And he did it behind a shaky offensive line. Taylor Tatum is legit, and he's going to be a major part of this offense, and maybe even the feature back at some point this season. Overreaction number 3. It's not an overreaction to say the offensive line was not great against Temple. Not great at all. I mean, there's really no other way of saying it. Not only was it a poor performance, but it was a poor performance against a bad football team. Not a great combination. The overreaction that I actually don't think is an overreaction is that the success and failure of this football team will largely depend on the offensive line. Meaning, if they get better and they're a solid offensive line, this team will be okay and be capable of doing some big things. If they can hold their own against Tennessee, against Texas, against Alabama, they'll be all right. But at this point, that's a giant if. Because if there's a real cause for concern right now for this football team, it's the offensive line, and frankly, guys, I don't really think it's that close. This is a good team in a lot of spots. In some spots, it's a great football team. Even the special teams had a great night on Friday night. But if the offensive line is a glaring weakness, it will leave this running game and a young quarterback in a very, very tough situation to succeed. Yes, like I just said, the defense will absolutely, in my opinion, keep you in every single game this year. But the ultimate answer to OU making the playoff or not is quite simple. It's the offensive line. If they're not better, and if they're not better in a hurry, it's going to be a tough season. The good news is that you can expect some players back soon, such as Jake Taylor, and that's certainly going to help. But much better competition is coming, and they're coming this month. The offensive line, more than any other position group on this team, will determine the outcome for the 2024 season. All right, so final overreaction. Let's end on a positive one, okay? The special teams will be significantly better. Tyler Keltner was named SEC Special Teams Player of the Week on Monday, and who saw that coming? Certainly not I. You could have convinced me of a lot of different things heading into the Temple game, but I don't think that you could have convinced me that an OU kicker was going to be SEC Special Teams Player of the Week. But the great news is it wasn't just Tyler Keltner. Lewis Carter punched the ball out. Jaron Canick scooped it up and ran it in for a touchdown. Peyton Bowen, no drama at all, returning punts, no drama whatsoever. Looked natural. It was no stress whatsoever. That was nice after last year. Heck, even Jackson Arnold had a punt inside the 20-yard line. This is a big deal, and I know it's at the end of the video, but don't overlook this. OU is about to play in a lot of one-score games this year. That's what I believe. Special teams is going to matter in each and every one of those, and if they're significantly better than they were last year, the year before when it comes to special teams, that's going to go a long way in helping you win a game or two this season that's going to be really close. Just a heck of a start from Tyler Keltner. And let's see if he can be consistent. But going 3 for 3, including a made 50-yarder, 6 for 6 on PATs, and being the SEC Special Teams Player of the Week is best-case scenario coming out of Friday's game. Doug Deacon is here from San Diego State. Really good track record, and it felt like Friday night was a good indication they're going to be much better and more consistent across the board on special teams than years past. And I don't think I have to tell you this, but just in case I do, guys, it's very, very important. So those are my big overreactions from week 1. What are yours? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching.